I would like to acknowledge and pay respects to the traditional custodians on the land on which we meet, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation. I pay respects to elders past and present. I know you don't need help to visualise or feel what it is like to be hungry. We've all been there. In fact, some of you may be feeling that way right now. But instead, I invite you to imagine you're 7 years old. You've awoken to a cold house, hungry. You trudge into the kitchen and scan the pantry, empty. You open the fridge, empty. You look into the fruit bowl, empty. You have no money to buy groceries, let alone pop to a cafe before work or school. It's embarrassing not having lunch or having shoes. The other kids have tiny teddies and yummy snacks. You'll probably get told off for fidgeting, trying to make the hunger pains go away. In fact, it might be even easier to just not go to school. This is a reality that many of our young people face at Fremantle PCYC. Difficult and sobering to learn. Once you learn this, you become drawn and driven to do something about it. Statistics have shown lack of food is not only too uncommon, but leads to isolation, poor school attendance, and being stuck in a cycle of low education and welfare, facing an unlevelling playing field each and every single morning. Well, we are doing something about it, but we need your support. Good evening, I'm Julie Gorman, Fremantle PCYC Centre Manager and former police officer. I'm joined by my colleague, Daniel Roy, a youth worker within the breakfast program. PCYC stands for Police and Community Youth Centre. But tonight I want to encourage you to hear those words in a different way. Instead of police, think people. Instead of community, think people. Instead of youth, think people. Instead of centre, think a place of belonging for all of those people.
When I joined PCYC 5 months ago, they had identified there was a large number of young people not having breakfast before school. Now, we're not talking about young people choosing not to have breakfast. We're talking about young people in homes where there's not enough food. Where there is no responsible person to make sure they've had breakfast before school. Where there is domestic violence, substance abuse, mental health issues, and poverty. This is happening right here, right now, in Fremantle. One morning, when setting up for the breakfast program, 2 small figures in the distance caught my eye. Outside, in the rain, walking along the street, barefoot, dirty, and cold, were 2 small children huddled together. We knew them, 2 regulars of our Safe Space program. We immediately brought them inside, gave them dry, clean clothes, shoes, and a hot breakfast. The 6-year-old boy, Callum, didn't speak. His 9-year-old sister, Sophie, told us that they were walking to Grandma's house, 5 kilometres away. She told us that she had been at home, alone, all weekend, and that she didn't know where Mum was. This is just another normal day. They're surrounded by poverty, domestic violence, and neglect. Dad's in jail, again, and Mum's way of coping is to use drugs. We're a second home for these children. One day, Sophie said while eating with friends, "This is like family." For Sophie, we're more than food and clothes. We are giving Sophie opportunities she would never have had with just a breakfast program. She is now a non-paying member of the PCYC gymnastics program, where she is excelling. She recently participated in her first competition, where she won a medal for the first time in her life.
The pilot breakfast program came about out of genuine concern by many local organisations for the young people and children within our community. Youth at risk. A culmination of great partnerships and a group of dedicated volunteers resulted in the amazing program we currently have running. But why not let the young people themselves tell you what they think about the breakfast program?
How does the Breakfast Club help you?
That it has, like, you get a lot of opportunities to, like, get your, like, physical education and like, you get the nutrition you need for the day.
What do you like about the Breakfast Club?
I like how it's really social and, like, usually if you come here you're not the only one, multiple people come so you can, like, socialise and have a nice breakfast and stuff. It helps me learn and have some fun.
Like, it helps you get, like, the worries out of the day by talking to them about it.
Compared to the state average of 93.1% school attendance, Hilton Primary sits at 83.6%. The breakfast attendees are sitting well below the state at 76% at the beginning of the program. However, 14 weeks in, and as of yesterday, we learned that the highest individual increase is now at 6%. This is a model that works. For example, at 10 weeks, 10-year-old Ben's attendance had increased 3%. This may seem a small figure, but it's an increase in an additional 6 days of school for that period. Previously, Ben never ate breakfast, usually went to school without enough food, and disliked being there. His teacher said that he now has a new attitude towards his schoolwork and is more willing to engage in the classroom. Half of the breakfast program attendees go to school with only sometimes having a meal or eating nothing at all. Since yesterday, there were 43 registered young people in the program. We've already provided 344 meals to children ages 4 through to 15. They come from 7 different local schools. PCYC fills that gap when schools do not provide breakfast programs. Making this situation even more dire, we learn many of them attend school without recess or lunch. So we began providing fruit, snacks, and sandwiches to those in need. Sadly, it's not uncommon for students to attend without a school bag, uniform, or clean clothes. Sometimes even walking to school in barefoot. We've been able to provide these basic necessities. PCYC is the place where they can ask for these items without shame. With these needs being met, they are more likely to move from disengagement to be included, healthier and happier children.
The solution to this crisis in our local area may appear complex, but as a community we have a responsibility to ensure that everyone belongs. When a community comes together, the solution is far more simple. Together, we can change lives. We can change lives by providing young people with access to healthy and nutritional food for breakfast, recess and lunch. Providing young people with access to literacy, numeracy, tutoring and recreational activities and opportunities. And linking families into support services through the PCYC Case Manager.
PCYC has been operating in Fremantle for over 45 years. We are a sustainable organisation with a great track record of making a tangible difference in the lives of young people, which ripples through to the broader community. As a Fremantle community hub, we provide recreational activities and youth interventional programs that recently capped at over 8,000 visitations a month. We are at the grassroots of the issues facing young people and children. Without PCYC, many young people and families would be without hope. We are their surrogate families, helping them get through the challenges they face through a variety of interventional programs. The breakfast program like many of our programs, is a stepping stone to PCYC's array of proven activities that develop young people into engaged members of our community. It is a powerful bridge that allows children to reach their potential and connect them to the blend of programs and activities that only PCYC offer. So what would we do with 100,000? We are coming to the end of our pilot program, so this is where the young people and children need your help. With your support, together, we can continue the program for another 2 years, working more closely with other schools and expanding our reach to more children in need. By employing a cook, a youth worker, over 8,000 meals will be shared at our table. But more than that, together we can change lives and be the positive influence needed to begin that change. The breakfast program is more than just a meal. It's more than just providing this to those in need. It is a tangible way of showing our youth the community cares, that they are important and that they do belong. Thank you.